You know he's always excited, right? When it's time. Time to add value. All right. Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, so welcome. It's a beautiful Friday. All right, and it's time for Mind Your Character with Cont'd Olusola-Obasa. Welcome one, welcome all. Okay, so preamble's done. Let's set out into what we've got today. I have been on an amazing journey with those who have kept pace with me or kept faith with me for a few weeks now, and we're gradually getting to where I would call it a day, like stop. Not because that's all, but because we should be thinking of doing something new. All right, so welcome. All right, so we have been on them. I'm going to let this be a bit like that. It's my energy pacer, so I love it. Welcome, 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 welcome. We've been talking about gaining a balanced mindset and creating boundaries. And it's been very interesting. We have examined a whole lot of things, and we're going to do more. I've done introductions, I've introduced what aspect of balance I am treating in my series, because you know, when I pick on any topic, I don't do generic conversations. I do them in context. So I put them in context of, just a moment. I put them in context of, okay. I usually will put them in context of what can help you make the most out of it around my area of interest or assignment. Talking about character, talking about values, and all of that, right? So I've been talking balance, and I'm not looking at balance from any other angle other than from the angle of mindset. Mindset, because your mindset drives every single thing about you. What you think, how you think, mindset. How you look at things. Because your mindset, it does affect everything about you. So that's why I have been discussing mindset, gaining a balanced mindset, and then creating boundaries. So in some of the conversations, they tilt more towards a balanced mindset, majority of them, while a few of them are looking at boundaries. So what does balance? We'll be looking at what balance looks like in real life, and I'm going to help you get into that a bit more again before I hit on specifics. In real life, like the life that you and I live, everyday life, typically, balance means knowing when to stand in the middle of two truths, two factors, or even two facts. Two truths, two factors, or two facts. Balance is knowing when to stand in between two truths, two factors, or two facts, without contradiction, bringing out of those two worlds, two views, a complete sense. And I had said that being a balanced person helps people trust you. You gain trust, you gain stability, and there's this finesse that comes with being a balanced-minded person. So, for instance, in real life, balance looks like being quick to hear and slow to speak. I discussed that substantially last week. It looks like being fair but firm. I'm sorry, I'm hosting this from a community where I have children close by. So, it's their world. So let's go on. So balance is also knowing how to be fair but firm. I discussed that as well last week. Balance is knowing how to be friendly with all but friend with few. And I did say last week that it is impossible, to my mind, it is impossible to be friends with everybody. You could end up losing yourself. As important as that. Right. Okay? So, balance is being bold and courageous. It is not being rude and uncouth. So balance helps you see the difference between boldness, courage, rudeness, and being uncouth. So if your rudeness to you means that you are courageous, you need to have a second look at that. You need to have a quick second look at that, because it is not true that that courage or boldness is the same as being rude. Understanding the balance between the two. Balance in real life, it's about understanding or knowing when to stand between, in the middle of two truths, two facts, two factors, and like that. All right. So balance is being logical without being emotionally bankrupt. So I mentioned last week that you could be firm to a point where you could lose your humanity, and you could become so bereft of being human that people cannot connect with you. So if you're a leader in the workplace, if you are whatever you are, particularly if you lead people, because leadership exposes you, it helps people see. Is it help? It makes people see the part of you that you probably would have kept away. So what balance looks like in real life? It looks like being emotionally aware without being irrational. It looks like being practical with your expressions and balanced. Balance is knowing and seeing the thin line between two things. It is seeing the line between speed and accuracy, between confidence and pride, between vulnerability and privacy, between kindness and self-entrapment, between flexibility and compromise of value. They are two different things. Okay, so you are supposed to learn to be flexible, adaptable, right? When you're flexible, you can be adaptable. They are beautiful qualities you would need to continue to transcend realms when it comes to growth, whether professional growth, whether personal growth, and all of that. However, when you do not understand the difference, not difference now, the line, okay, let's not talk about difference because that's not what I'm talking about. The balance is the word. The balance between flexibility and compromise of value. You could get into trouble. Okay, you could find yourself running too much to one side of it. Balance in real life looks like consistency and perfection. So let me emphasize on a few for the time that I have. For those who have been following this series, I have treated unique areas, some of which are mentioned in my entry right now. And I'm going to go ahead and bring flesh to a few others. Let's look at balance in social and personal intelligence. Let's look at balance in social and personal intelligence, because I told you that one of the things that balance will do for you is that it will make you fit for palaces, make you fit for platforms, and I mean platforms. It will make you apt. It will make you continuously desirable. Okay? And people cannot have too much of you because they know you always bring balance to the fore. So balance, we're looking at it and emphasizing on balance in social and personal intelligence. What does it look like? It looks like balance teaching you how not to say everything in your heart. Whoop! How not to say everything in your heart. My goodness, how not to say everything in your heart. There'll be a lot of things in our hearts every now and then. A lot in our hearts. A lot in our hearts. Balance teaches you how not to say everything. Balance teaches you how that it is true that everybody feels in a particular way as first response to certain issues in life. But no, not everybody reacts the same way to the issue. The difference is someone is learning balance. Someone is growing balance around social and personal intelligence, and the other person is just allowing their emotions to have a free ride. You want to build to last? You are my audience for this series. You want to be well bred? You are my audience. You want to have poise. You want to carry grace, like, okay, graceful living. You need balance. You need to gain balance, and you gain it by learning and practices. You learn, you practice. And the practices have to be consistent. I talked about the place of consistency when I started the series. So balance in personal and social intelligence looks like you learning how not to say everything in your heart. The day they will create any AI or any other technology at that will read people's mind, hey, that day we are gonna be in trouble. Because even yours truly will have moments when there is a bad thought that just races past. But you see, you don't get to practice, you don't get to live it out because you are learning how not to deploy everything that comes to your heart and release it out there. People who say everything in their heart are not balanced So they are not matured, and so they lose trust with people that matter. I've been talking about gaining balance mindset and creating boundaries. It's been a series, so if you have missed any of the threads, you will need to race quickly once I'm done to my YouTube channel, Mind Your Character, and catch up, because you can't afford to know some and leave some, right? So what does balance look like in social and personal intelligence? I said, one, it teaches you how not to say everything in your heart. So if you have said, hey, it came to my heart and so I said it, oh, people have left you. You are the only one in that class. People of means, people of meaning, premium guys have left you. You need to check out of that class and begin to learn how balance and boundaries help you not to say everything in your heart. You know, sometimes it's just what they call a 6-second pause in psychology that helps you be able to rethink your steps, rethink your words, rethink your reactions, and then you respond rather than react. Number 2, in social and personal intelligence, balance teaches you how to speak without feeling stupid. How to speak without feeling stupid or stupid. How to speak without feeling stupid. There's some maturity that must begin to go into the way you're building your personal brand. The older you're getting, the higher you are rising in career, because these are the things that mess people up at the peak of their career. One stupid word said, one uncalled statement, one not well reasoned out or thought out speech, and poof, everybody's wondering, I thought so much of this person. Now I know they didn't deserve my rating. So, for your social and personal intelligence, balance teaches you how to speak without feeling stupid. It means that you have processed your words before you say them. I'll say something here. Some years ago, I came to find out that you must refine things before you serve them. As a matter of fact, I say to people, refine your crude self before you serve it to the world, because crude does not offer the best of value. Check our crude oil in Nigeria, for instance. You find out that our crude oil gains more value after it's been refined and sent to us. I mean, for if we are refining outside of here, you know, thankful for a few changes that have happened in the past few months. But here's what I'm saying. You can't afford to be roadside. You can't afford to be classless. You can't afford to be wishy-washy. Or the thing we say in local parlance, you can't be a yao person. You can choose how to, and this is not about being fake. I'm talking about building substance into the personal brand that you're growing. So so I did say that before you serve anything, including yourself, refine. So even if there's a truth to be said, and I'm talking to those of us who like to say, I told the truth as it is. Well done. So what was the result after you told the truth as it is? Oh yeah, now what was the result? Because see, communication must always figure out the end from the beginning. The feedback you want to receive should grant you the wisdom and the grace to decide which way of communication you should take to. So, in your personal and social intelligence, you need to understand that balance teaches you to read the room. Number 3, read the room. There are a few things that are so germane. They're so important. I'm like, they have to be said now. I mean, your body is biting you. I have to say it. Management has to hear this. Yes, true. I feel you. I probably also got you. But you see, away from the energy you want to share, you want to release around saying something that is important, being in a place for your brand or for your organization or even for yourself. Balance in social and personal intelligence teaches you to read the room. Reading the room includes patience, sometimes includes initiative, sometimes includes quietness, sometimes includes observation, sometimes includes calmness, sometimes includes all of those things put together. Learning without asking questions is one of the hallmark of people who have learned to read the room. So you have checked the temperature of the room, and by room it could be a human being, it could be your boss, before you throw in what you want to say. Welcome everyone who is joining me. I can see you. I'm just trying to be sure that I got the show going to a major tempo before I started saying the hi. Thank you. I can see Madam Sajay. I can see Madam Ekanem. I can see Philip. Stephen. Stephen, your name is about to change to Philip. And then I can see Debbie. Thank you. And any other person who's joining, thank you so much. I'm streaming live currently to both Bosede, Olusola-Obasa, and Mind Your Character. And this is an every Friday thing. The series is still on, even though I thought that at some point I should put a pause to it because it's a book that is coming up actually. And it's also a class that we're packaging. But I decided to share it for free on Mind Your Character, first of all, so you can see that there's a world like this. A lot of people think that they must take things that come to them the way it comes. No, you have a choice. No matter for how short a time, you have a choice. And with your choice, you can swing the lot of any situation in your favor. So, balance in personal and social intelligence also teaches you that sorry may not always, teaches you when sorry is not sufficient. You know, there are interesting things that happen to me when I ruminate over what people say, how people live, and I do research, maybe because of my area of interest and value provision. There are seasons, there are times when sorry is insufficient. If you don't learn that, you will keep doing things and hoping that you will say sorry and it will take care. And sometimes when you have hit people below the belt, like they feel really hot, you'll be wondering why they are not getting over it too soon. Why is my husband not loosening up after I've said sorry? Why is my wife not loosening up after I've said sorry? Why is my boss still cocked up? Oh, I thought he's a pastor. Balance and boundary building will help you see. You should know it in your knowing. Know it in your knowing. If you are following down my line, type it there so I'll know. Know it in your knowing that sorry can sometimes be insufficient. But what should I tell you? What should that tell you? That should tell you that you should seldom do things that you need to say sorry. Think through well. Don't slam harsh words on people only to come back and say, I'm sorry, my bad. You know, the way some people say now, my bad. Oh, it was a crazy moment. And you're speaking all those English or Englishes. Excuse me. In social and personal intelligence, learn that there are times when sorry is insufficient. Those are moments when you could have thought it through before you took that action, before you said that word, before you wrote that letter, before you responded in the way you did, before you did that non-verbal communication. It's important for you to know that in this life, there are moments when sorry is insufficient. I know that I'm touching something sensitive. When you were growing, you were taught about the magic words, that they'll always change things. And well, I'm not going to argue with that. But now that you're growing and you want to be stable in life, you want to be a person of maturity and trust. You don't want to lose trust with people. You must learn that there are certain things that are better prevented than hoping to say sorry. What will that make you do? Make you pay more attention. So if you know that you're going to send an email that will eventually cost your organization money or reputation, it's better to settle down and read it well. You can actually avoid it. Things that are avoidable do not get sorted so easily or possibly with sorry. The person you have said sorry to might say, okay, but you see, the fact remains they are going to have to go through the process of pain or regret that brought to them. That's not all. Wait for this one, because my time is almost up for the show today. Not only are they going to try to cope with the pain or the concern that thing brought, they will trust you lesser than they did before. That trust is called reliability index. So there are a lot of things that contribute to trust, and the overall thing I've been talking about around balance and boundary is around how to make your trust capital really strong this year. But you see, this one is very strong. When you often do things that should be avoided and you say you are sorry, you are losing something. Whether in workplace, even if your boss, partner, husband, subordinate, superior, even if they are angels, like angels, angels, they will lose trust in you. Take that home from me. They will begin to have less capacity to rely on you, because they will begin to build safety nests away from you, and cautionary actions will be taken because they are not sure what next will happen. So it is not to your advantage as a professional who is hoping to do great at your work or business, always hoping to, even in parenting, when you're always saying you're sorry, you promised yesterday, you did not keep your promise, you said you're sorry. You promised today I'll get you ice cream, you didn't do it, you said I'm sorry. You promised you would take them to see the movies, you did not, you said I'm sorry. You said that you're going to pick them from school or come to their special events and you were going to be there and you could not do it. See, I didn't say you did not. I'm very mindful of my words, because the thing I'm teaching you are the things I'm practicing too. One of the greatest things I want to do is make my life an example of the things that I teach. So I said you could not. I didn't say you did not. Meaning that I am not accusing you. I'm saying that you probably had very germane reasons why you could not. But that has not still taken care of the fact that those children will begin to build a wall against the pain of being disappointed. That wall is trust eroding. I don't know how much you've been able to gain from today. But yes, balance in social and personal intelligence helps you know that there are moments when sorry is insufficient. I have a community called the Character Ambassadors Forum. Some people who are joining us today knew about it. We put it on a pause because I had to transition to radio, and it was same Saturday that I was using. It's back and it's free. we are going to be it's usually a talk forum where we do discussion. So we're going to be discussing, do you trust yourself in this repackaged edition, starting it out. It's going to be once every 2 months. So if you miss one, well, it's in another 2 months. I used to do it every last Saturday of the month. I want to see you there. It's holding at the RCV office, 153 Akonwojo. It's Saturday, 28th of February. You might want to pen it down this month, 28th of February. We already started doing publicity. You may have seen the flyer. If you have people who mean well for their personal brand, for their values, for their job, and you think they should be in that kind of community, why not? Shoot them the flyer and let them know that it's free. We have space for up to 50 people, but that's not all. One of the things we added to it this time is that we brought it to a hybrid mode, meaning that if for any reason you cannot be physically present, you can let us know when you fill the form. The link that is on the flyer, which I believe my team members who are joining may also be adding to these comments for you, so that you can click it. We need to know who we are expecting. That's why it's important to register, but it's totally free to attend. Do you trust yourself? You're going to be shocked at what that conversation intends to unearth and how better you are going to become. Today, I have brought to you what balance looks like in real life, and I tried to situate it around I emphasize social and personal intelligence. There is more. So when I come again on Friday, I will take care of the rest. To remind you, today, I helped you see that social and personal intelligence balance shows you that there's how not to say everything in your heart, how to speak without feeling stupid, how to read the room, and when sorry is insufficient. And finally, when to say what you have to say without guilt. Balance helps you know when to say what you want to say without guilt. A lot of people have an issue around, oh, but this is the truth and I need to say. There are moments. So that's what makes it balanced, okay? It's not confusing at all. It's about knowing when to pick the middle between two factors. Balance. So there are moments when you have to speak or say no without feeling guilty. Saying no without feeling guilty. Saying no without feeling guilty. Saying no without feeling guilty. Okay, so you are still in school and you are trying to get through school, and someone is saying, I love you, Tori Toru. Come on, go ahead and say no without feeling guilty. Say no without feeling like you are not woke. Someone says, get down with me before we are married. Say no without feeling guilty. Amen. Balance. And you see, there's a lot that goes into it. Let's meet on the 28th in the room, right? Where we are going to be polishing, and it's a community you would love. They are character ambassadors. Old members will be coming, new members are welcome, and it's totally free. It's an accountability network where you can see people, and it's one of the places you can see me for free without paying. Of course, I usually say jokingly that I learned from Pastor Emmanuel that when it's more than counseling and it's consulting, you pay. But don't worry, I'm just saying that you would love it. You would love who you are becoming. And it's also one of the platforms where those who want to be mentored can sign up. Character Ambassadors Forum. Let's meet on the 28th. And that said, it's time to say goodbye. Don't worry. I have short videos coming up. I started recording this morning. Short videos around these boundaries and balance, so that people who need to go and watch on YouTube can be directed there. So I'm doing short videos that will help people, take a bite and then go ahead and pick more. If you've missed any part of this, like I said, please, you need to head to the YouTube and share. We want you to tell people what value we are bringing to the world. It's so important. The more people hear what we're saying, the more they have the opportunity to become better. I exceeded my time by 7 minutes because I didn't start on the dot of 4, because I had to do my back end stuff myself today. I'm not hosting from the office. Thank you everybody for joining. I love you guys, and my music is going to play. You know I love this music, right? If you have questions, come along on the 28th, 153 Akowajo. You want to join by being sent a link, just fill the registration form and we'll welcome you to join remotely. And that means you can join from anywhere in the world. Character ambassadors who have relocated out of Nigeria, there is no stopping you, no restrictions. So you can join. And cheers everyone. Bye now.